It's time for Around the Ozarks Wake Up Weather, sponsored by Scooters Coffee and Rescue Towing. Here's your host, meteorologist Abby Dyer.
Good morning, everyone. Welcome to your Wednesday. It's July 10th, and we are finally rain-free on the radar this morning. It's a nice change of pace after yesterday's soggy day in the Ozarks. Flood watch allowed to expire, and we are also talking about the sunshine coming back into play today in the forecast. It's very comfortable out this morning. In fact, as of 5 o'clock in the morning, we've got temperatures in the low 60s. Nice. Very comfortable early on. If you want to get out, take a morning walk, let the dogs outside, I think this morning would be a fantastic time to do so as temperatures are just so mild. We will see the heat return in this forecast. And even by this afternoon, I've got upper 80s that are back. So maybe a bit on the warm side for your liking, even as we head into this afternoon. Sunshine, though, returns in this forecast, and we are talking about beautiful weather conditions by the time we get to this afternoon. Today's one of the nicer ones in the extended forecast. We're starting to see much drier pattern move into the middle part of the country, and this is going to also allow a ridge of high pressure to build in. You know, when we talk about a ridge of high pressure in the summertime, it typically lends itself to this kind of hot, humid, dry pattern for several days. And that's exactly what we'll be seeing here in the Ozarks. This morning, though, nice and cool to start the day. Temperatures starting out in the low 60s. We'll warm to about 87 for that high temperature in Springfield today. I have highs that climb into the upper 80s with mostly sunny skies today. We're back into the 90s by this weekend, and the heat and humidity continues to build. Speaking of the weekend forecast, I've got numbers that will start feeling more like the triple digits again as we head into this weekend. So summertime will be back in full force. The rain has been kind of nice. It allowed for some cooler than average temperatures Tuesday and Wednesday. And now we are talking about numbers that are going to be climbing again as we head into Thursday, Friday, and Saturday of this weekend. Conditions today, I think we're ranging anywhere from the mid 80s to the low 90s. Now, most of us will stop in the upper 80s for highs today. A normal high temperature right around 90 degrees for this time of the year in July. It's typically hot, and that's what we're going to see return as we move closer to this weekend. I've got a dry stretch of days. If you're looking at any outdoor projects or anything, I think it will be a nice stretch of days to do that, as humidity is not too terrible, at least until we get to Sunday. Sunday is the day that I have those heat index values climbing back up and over that triple digit point. So we will see the heat and humidity return, but several dry days in a row and heat that slowly builds at least. We've got a couple of days here at the upper 80s in the forecast before the 90s are back for everybody. That happens by Saturday. Around the country, it's still very active across much of the United States. We've got record high temperatures continuing today for large portions of the West Coast. I've been talking about that deadly heat out west all week long. It hangs on today through the middle of the week. We are also talking about record high minimum temperatures, meaning the overnight lows are record warmth for much of the East Coast. This stretches all the way from the Gulf Coast to the East Coast. And warm starts to the day mean that by the afternoon, temperatures are just scorching. We've heard about the record highs in the North Carolina region, and I'm expecting that we see record high low temperatures as we move into the overnight hours tonight into early Thursday. Beryl, it's making its way through the lower Great Lakes today, bringing a whole lot of rain and active weather with it. The severe threat going down and down as that moves even further inland. And we are still talking about gusty winds, but the soggy conditions are the bigger deal with remnants of Beryl as they move through the country. All right, it's time for the Around the Ozarks Wake Up Weather Brain Twister Trivia question for you on this Wednesday morning. The question that I left you with yesterday, did you look up at those raindrops? How fast does the average raindrop fall? The options that I gave you were A, 5 miles an hour, B, 9 miles an hour, C, 14 miles an hour, or D, 20 miles per hour. And the answer, if you guessed C, 14 miles an hour, that would be correct. That is the average speed of a raindrop. So when you take all the little tiny sprinkles and the big, huge, fat raindrops, Average them together. Typically, raindrops fall at about 14 miles an hour as they make their way to the surface. The exact speed of each individual drop, well, it depends on the raindrop's size and the weight from which it falls. Larger raindrops can fall as fast as 20 miles an hour, and those really tiny, small raindrops can take like 7 minutes to fall from the cloud all the way to the surface. I do not miss doing those calculations. I had this class in college, atmospheric physics, and you actually would, those would like be the exam questions, was like, how fast would this raindrop fall if it were this size? I did not enjoy those classes, but if you average them all together, typically it's about 14 miles an hour. And those big fat raindrops can fall even faster, which explains why if you're outside and it's pouring rain, it can almost hurt as it's hitting your skin. But congrats if C was your guess. Here's the question that I will leave you with for tomorrow. It's another weather one. On average, how many times per year is the Empire State Building struck by lightning? Do you think it is A, 5, B, 15 times, C, 25 times, or D, 50 times? How many lightning strikes do you think the Empire State Building gets on average every year? You can let me know your guess. That's at aroundtheozarks.com. It is free to enter, and you could win $20 to Scooter's Coffee as a gift card. We give that away every single day here at Around the Ozarks Wake Up Weather. Thank you so much to Scooters and to Rescue Towing, and thank you for listening early this morning. I'll chat again